Okay, so the One Voice movement is an international mainstream grassroots movement working to amplify the voice of the moderate majority in Israel and in Palestine. Our primary focus is youth empowerment, and in order to do that, we have 2,000 highly trained youth leaders and 650,000 signatories to the One Voice movement in equal numbers in Israel and in Palestine. And one of our biggest programs is something called the Town Hall Meeting, in which our top highly trained youth leaders lead town hall meetings in both Israel and Palestine within Israeli and Palestinian society to cover the toughest issues and kind of make sure that the people are feeling a sense of ownership over the peace process. And we also have an American wing of our program, an international wing that Alexa will tell you about.
Well, can I ask real quick, how old are the youth leaders?
The youth leaders, we define youth as between the ages of 18 and 35.
And of the younger segment of that, are they able to connect socially with some of these people beyond the town meetings across borders?
It's difficult for us to provide those opportunities just because of travel restrictions for both. So unfortunately, we do focus on them connecting with their youth counterparts within their own societies. But we do, as part of our international programs, which Alexa will tell you about, bring a pair of youth leaders, one from Israel and one from Palestine, together for U.S. tours. And so they come together and tour the United States college campuses and the UK as well.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alexandra, and I think one of the biggest problems with this whole issue is how you see in a lot of university campuses and college campuses very polarized viewpoints on this issue by the students who don't necessarily, may not necessarily be very attached to the region or know necessarily what's going on, and all you get is the media and the news and the newspapers telling you how these people feel. So a very important thing that we do, as Rachel just said, is that we bring a youth leader from Israeli youth leader, a Palestinian youth leader, and they come to the university campuses and they speak and they sit next to each other and they tell their stories and they explain how they're tolerant of one another and how they want peace and they want this conflict to end, and they want to end with the two-state solution and to live side by side as neighbors and as friends and to not live in this hostile environment anymore. And so these leaders go with our college campuses in the US and in the UK and in Canada a little bit as well, and hoping to spread that message to kind of amplify their voices to people so that you're not just hearing the political leaders and the extremist views that are so often out there and overriding the voices of the people.
That's great. How long have you been involved with the organization?
Just about 2 months now.
And you?
I have worked in the DC office of One Voice since June.
Great.
But I actually first heard about One Voice last year when the IEP, the International Education Program, came to DC in fall, October 2008.
And how big of an organization is it?
So we have, as I said, 650,000 signatories, and that's kind of the bulk of our organization. And then we also maintain an office in Tel Aviv, an office in Ramallah, an office in New York, and our small office here in DC, and an office in the UK.
And where can we find you online?
You can find us at onevoicemovement.org.
And what brought you to J Street?
Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, it's wonderful to be able to interact with so many like-minded organizations and be able to kind of network and find common grounds on where we can work together on promoting a two-state solution and a peaceful end to the conflict through nonviolent means. So I would say that's one of our biggest reasons. And we've been working with J Street and the other partner organizations in DC here through other events. So we're happy to work with them again.
And what have you seen some of the sessions so far?
I've only, unfortunately, been here for a lot of the day, but I've been in the session on Where Has Israeli Peace Activism Gone? One of our staff members, who's the head of Major Gifts, Donna, she spoke at that panel, so I was at that panel.
And what did you think?
I thought it was wonderful. It was simultaneously encouraging and discouraging. It was encouraging in that there are so many outlets for peace activism, and I would say the next step is to bring all those activist groups together and kind of create a network or a movement with all of them together so it can be a stronger force.
And where do you think that's going to happen during this presidential term?
I do. I think that can happen soon. I think that needs to happen given the political climate in Israel, and those groups need to make sure that they have kind of the political standing, and so I think creating a unified movement would give them that.
Okay. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.